Hey, folks. Dave here, Studio B. Okay. Okay. So perhaps, perhaps I might have changed my mind a little bit on playing the National League and having pitchers hit. Perhaps. Perhaps. As you know, I grew up over here on the east side, and all we saw on TV was Red Sox games, and they played the Indians and the Tigers and Yankees 1,000 times. And we didn't get to see much of the National League growing up. And this is a conversation I had with the replay gamer, as you remember. And we talked about that. And, he grew up in the Cincinnati area, which is National League country. And I grew up in American League country. And so I grew up with the DH because when I started following baseball, there was the DH. And when I started playing these games here, I never liked playing the National League. Okay. And the reason behind that was because I hated having the pitchers hit. I thought it was a wasted batter spot. They were yanking the pitches out, so you never really get a complete game. So you mean you get 2 outs and 2 runners on, and the pitcher comes up, and if you take him out, he's out of the game. It's like, that sucks. I'm sorry, that sucks, right? And then last night, if you saw here, I played some Strat Baseball, new product. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm playing this project, and it's 2 National League teams. And so what I decided to do, if National played National, I would go pitchers hitting. Just kind of what I'm going to do. And I'll explain the project in a minute. And so it's the Reds and the Expos. And I had a bunch of people watching here. It's 1976. And I got to the 7th, I think it was the 6th or 7th inning. And the pitchers are coming up to hit. And now I got to decide. Do I take out my starting pitcher so I can have somebody hit, or do I not? That turned in to a mini game of its own within the game. And I never like to do that because I always like just to play, just, get the game done and not have to worry about making tough decisions. And this game of Strat Basic, I was doing Strat Basic. That's what I was using. I wasn't using the color side. I was using the boring side. But that's what I wanted to play for this project. I'll talk about in a minute. And that game took me almost 2 hours last night. 2 hours to play a game of Strat Basic. Now, to be fair, when you're live streaming and you're chatting, sometimes you're chatting and you're not playing. Because I could probably bang on a game in 20, 25 minutes, I would think. And that's why I picked Strat Basic for this particular project. Last night was epic. And as Barbara says, last night was great. Oh, wait. Let's back that up. The baseball, we're talking baseball, right? Whew. We're talking the baseball game. Was great last night. I'm kidding. And I got a newfound respect for the National League. Okay, Barbara will clarify that. She will clarify the talking baseball game last night when she said that I was great last night. It's been a while since I heard that. Wait, where are my drums? And we, as a group in the chat room, we had about 30 of us here, and we're all trying to decide, what to do with the pitcher. Do we let him hit? Do we bunt? Do we take him out? When do we do this? Who comes in? How do we do this? And it was an absolute blast. It's something I hadn't done in a baseball game before to that level, to that level. And like I brought in these pitchers, and I remember bringing in one guy, and he came in with 2 outs, and I don't know what he did, but he ended up getting the 3rd out. And we go into the next inning, and lo and behold, I think he's leading off, or he's second to bat. Now what do? Do you take this guy out? He faced one batter, one batter and got him out to get out of the inning. And now he's done. He's see ya because I'm batting for you because it was getting late in the game and we needed somebody to hit. And it just was an absolute blast. And I'm listening to the chat and they're like, hey, do we take this guy out? Do we leave him in? Who do we bring in? I think I still have the score sheet from last night. Oh, and by the way, I ended up playing game 3 today, and I'll talk about that. And that was an absolute blast as well. So what ended up happening in game, that was game 3. Yeah, that was game 3 last night. Sorry about that. I played another couple of games, so I'm getting them all mixed up. But anyway, yeah, so we brought in 4 pitchers for the Expos and 5 for the Reds. We had 5 pitches for the Reds. And, the starting pitchers went 6, so a little bit more than 6 innings. And we started popping them out and pinch hitting. And we brought in, Gary Carter, and he popped out, and then we brought in Morales and he struck out. So we're bringing in these guys for the pitchers and they're getting out. And it's just like, oh, that was a bad choice. However, in the 7th for the Reds, and they were actually losing at this point, we brought in Dreesen. I think it's Dreesen, right? And he singles and he ends up scoring a run. And it was like, that was just so awesome. It really was. And then Bailey came in to pinch hit for someone else in the 8th and he got out. But holy cow, last night's game was just an epic one. That 7th inning, there's a little score sheet here. I mean, look at that 7th inning. 5 runs for the Expos and then 2 for the Reds. Expos get 1 back, an insurance run, or to go up by 3 in the 8th. And then in the 9th, the Reds almost pulled it out in the 9th. The Reds are down 7-4 going into this is game 3. So this is the top seed versus the bottom seed in my project here. And the Reds were on the brink of elimination because they lost game 1 at home. So all the visitors won. 3-game series, and all the visitors won. And they get on. They get first and third. They get a double from Perez. So now we have second and third. So the tying runs on second. So I bring in Armbrister, who is a very fast runner. So he's on second. And Bench had a chance to win it. With 2 on, Bench come up, and if he hit a home run, I think he would have won it. And he hit a deep fly ball, but nobody scored. Perez got the double, and then they come up to Geronimo, and he grounded out with, I think, second and third. 7-5 tying run at second. He grounds out. What a game it was. But the whole cat and mouse game with bringing in pinch hitters and pitchers, and, I'm looking here, like Zachary went 6 2/3, and then Sarmiento come in for 1 out, and then McAnemy, that's his name, come in. He got 2/3 of an inning. Then Bourbon come in for 1/3 of an inning. And it was just hilarious how he kept, okay, well, this pitcher goes in, but now he's got a hit, so we got to take him out again. What a game it was. And and I got to say, I got a newfound respect for National League. I guess I'm just going to say that. And I've always been shying away from playing National League games here, especially on a tabletop, because I just didn't know how to do it. And last night, with help from the chat room, and, texting Ron. Ron's my bench coach. I'm like, Ron, what do I do? We had a super fun game. It was one of the most fun games I've ever played of baseball. And I played it in Strat Basic. Of all things, Strat Basic. And I know a lot of people are like, you got to play Advanced and you got to play Super Advanced. I just wanted something simple for this project here. What a game it was. And I think that has pushed me over the hump for these National League games because it was so much fun deciding on what to do. And you know me, I like to not make decisions. I like to play and record the results, and I do like that. But last night, for some reason, worked, and it did. It really did. And Barbara says, yeah, I played 2 nights ago. I played 2 games, and game 3 was last night. Yeah, so that was that. I did play game 1 of my new series, which was It's the Phillies and the White Sox. And the White Sox were trailing 1-0 in the ninth. They scratched across a run. They got a single, and somehow they got the run in. I forget what happened here. I think I singled and then singled 2 bases, and oh, that's what it was. We had first and third with 1 out, and I was on the phone with Ron, and he's like, let's not play infield in. Let's play for the double play. And he hit it to first base, and the only play was to first. And everybody moved up a base, and so they tied it. And then we went to the bottom of the inning, and Maddox doubled. So we're tied 1-1. Maddox doubled. We sacrificed him to third. We got a walk, and then it was hit. Cash hit it to the pitcher, and they tried to turn 2. So we didn't play infield in. We went for the double play, and they only got 1. And so the run come in from third. Maddox scored. So the Phillies take game 1 over the White Sox 2-1. But that was another one. Now this one had the DH, so we didn't have the drama of the pitcher. But as I play a ton of these games, I start to mature as a gamer. And I think last night was one of these ones that got me over the hump. And Steve, hi Steve, comes by. So much strategy involved pre-DH. Yeah, there was. And last night was one of them. Last night we had a blast. So thanks everybody that tuned in last night. Boy, it was exhausting. It was so emotional. That game was just sitting here like, oh my gosh, what's going on here and the whole bit. And I'm trying to keep this nice and basic. Okay, I really am. I'm trying not to make this a difficult project at all. I'm trying to just keep it nice and simple. And Strat Basic is something I really enjoy. And what I found out last night about Strat Basic is I really like the simplicity of it, but I like the fact that you do make some decisions. Okay, you can keep the infield in, and that'll affect some things. You can hold the runner, and that affects some things. So I have to make a couple of decisions in this game, and that affects some things. And there was one that I didn't hold the runner, and it was a hit, and it would have been the single 2 bases if I was holding the runner, but I wasn't holding the runner, and so that allowed us to get the out. And little things like that were just super fun. Super fun. And I really wish that Strat would have more seasons in stock, because I would grab a couple here on the Black Friday sale. And Barbara says, I needed a drink and a smoke after that one. Yeah, that wasn't that. That was just, I don't know what it was about that game. It just worked. I think we had the chat room was jumping last night. It was a Saturday night. Everyone was just into the game. And I just had the camera on. I didn't even doll it up with any score sheet or anything. We just played. And that's the fun thing about playing on the tabletop cards and dice, is that it was just so much fun. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I don't think I'm going to be shying away from the National League anymore. In fact, I'm going to try to push myself to play a little bit more National League with pitchers and things like that, because I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. And I always, like I said, anytime I played a new game, it's always American League with DHs, because I didn't want to have to worry about the pitching thing. And I think I'm gonna try to tackle that. I think I am. Andrew says he's learning pocket pennant run. Hasn't had the project yet, but he's gonna definitely use the DH. I always did. Every time I played, I always use a DH. And now I think I'm gonna kind of shy away from that. And yeah, dealing with a double switch can get confusing. I don't even know what a double switch is. If you want to be honest, I don't know what it is. I get it. It's you're bringing in somebody and you're putting somebody there, but I don't even know what it is, so I don't do it, because I don't know what it is and how it works. And I think one time I was playing Action PC or Strat, and I tried to move guys around and I lost the DH somehow. I did something completely wrong. Like I said, I don't know enough about it. But I gotta say, I had a good time there. Thanks for coming by there, Triple G. Stopping in to say hi. Maybe because it was new, maybe because I haven't touched it that much. I have played some national, I have done some pitcher stuff, but maybe just because last night's game was so epic, and the way it played out and the way things happened, And you know how we had that 5-run seventh, and the underdogs were going to try to steal it, and then the Phillies came back, or the Reds came back, and their bats opened up, and you know it come down to Dale Murphy and Johnny Bench, and Johnny Bench has already hit a grand slam, and I think he had a home run earlier in the game, didn't he? So, where is game 3? Yeah, Johnny Bench had a home run in the 4th inning, so he was juicing him. He had a home run, a grand slam in game 1. Oh no, game 2, I think it was. But anyway, I mean, that was just the matchup. I mean, okay, here it is, 1st and 2nd, and Johnny Bench comes up. Are you kidding me? Johnny Bench. And it's like you can see the pitcher on the mound, and the chat room's like, leave him in, leave. I think it was Dale Murphy. I think leave Murphy in. They're gonna win with him or lose with him, but no one else is coming in. And it was such a good time. It really was. And Triple G says, I used to like using the DH, but as I've been doing my 77 replay, I have found I enjoy the pitching aspect in the National League. Well, we're gonna find out how much I do enjoy it. I don't know if that was just a one-off or not, but we're gonna find out. If I do, and Barbara says, I do not smoke, just wine here and there. Okay. Oh, we already had that one there. I'm still getting used to it. This is the new Streamlabs Talk Studio here. The StreamYard is pretty much dead. I still have it for another week, but I think I'm pretty much done with that. So I'm kind of coming over here and using some of this stuff. And learning this here. So I do have a few things here. So I get some backgrounds I can use and things like that. So I have the little baseball background here, and it's very similar to the StreamYard, but the thing that's different between this and StreamYard is probably about like $50 or $60 a month. Imagine that. Imagine increasing your prices from $30 to almost $70 a month and expecting people not to cancel. Yeah, yeah. They actually offered me 40% off, and I thought about it. If they gave me 50% off, I would have taken it because I would have kept the price the same. Or if they just honored the price, if it said, hey, you've been with us since day one, we'll keep you at this price, I would have kept up, the $30, $35 a month or whatever it was. But no, almost $70 a month. No, ain't going to happen. And this is actually a little cheaper. So this will allow me to free up some money for some other things that I wanted to do here on the channel if I go with this. And I'll probably be using this mostly for the chats like this, and I'll be using the other software for the gaming stuff. It just works a little bit better. And going back to the chat here, and then I'll tell you about the project here that I'm doing. Let's see. Tim says, he says, I started playing Strat in 1972, and I don't think I did a double switch until 77. Yeah, I don't even know what a double switch is. So we're going to figure that out. And World's Gamer. In my replays now, I try to pick a team to play as from both the NL and the AL, so I get to see both leagues. Also, don't miss out playing some as great, very interesting teams. Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. Get a bunch of teams on the table. That's what I'm enjoying. Let's see here. Cutter. I don't change DH rules for the seasons of PC Replay Baseball. I have, but when I do playoffs, I use it because I want another bat in a lineup that could make a difference, even for the NL team. What I used to do, all kidding aside, is when I used to play, no matter what teams I played, I'd go DH all the time because I just didn't know enough about pitching and all that stuff there. But I got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed last night's game. It was just so good that it's like I need more of that, And Barbara said it was crazy. It's like, yeah, it was. It was absolutely crazy. And Sports Time Machine comes by. Are you using the Streamlabs here too? I thought I saw you using the Streamlabs Talk Studio as well. Again, that's the way to go compared to the StreamYard, unfortunately. How do you say Grand Slam in French? Last night wasn't that a time last night? I don't know how else to say it. It just really was, Where else in here? And Streamlabs is okay. Yeah, he's using the free version. Yeah, I think StreamYard still might have a free version. I think. I'm not sure. It was StreamYard was so good. I mean, I was used to it. I knew they were updating it the whole bit and blah blah blah. But They got taken over by, you know when I saw the changes, I obviously spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I watch talk shows and sports talk shows and chats and stuff. Everybody was using StreamYard. When Google Hangouts died, I stumbled on this to StreamYard. I started using it, and then everyone in the community is using it. And then, now you see like the big channels using it, channels with like 1 million subscribers and things like that. And that's when I knew that our small guys were done. Because once I saw the channels with, 50 to 100 to 500,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, once I saw them, with the StreamYard, you could tell it was StreamYard just by the way it was set up. I'm like, yep, we're done. They're going to cater to these big guys. They're going to charge them $100 a month. They will pay it because they're making all kinds of money. And us little guys here that can, maybe scrape up 20 or $30 a month is going to be, see you later. So yeah, that's when I saw the writing on the wall with StreamYard, which is too bad because I think they really made it a nice platform. But yeah, that is that. And he says, yes, it works really well. Okay, good. Let's see. Enzo comes by here. What's Enzo got to say? Good to see you here. If I play solo, I prefer DH, but really like National League play when playing someone. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So, well, let me tell you about the project here and kind of how this all happened last night. So, I'm doing the 1976 season. So, I got my 1976 Strat cards here, and I got all my teams, and I got all my envelopes here. So, I think I showed these the other night. So, I got all my Strat cards, and I got them all in envelopes with all the, the things on here. I did them up really kind of nice. And they've been sitting in my closet because I bought 76. Was it last year or the year before, right? 76 comes out for Strat. So I like the Strat Baseball. So I picked it up. And I haven't done anything with it. Not a thing. I unboxed them. I put them away. They're the thin cards, too. I can't stand how thin they are. I think they went back to the thicker cards after this one come out because people were like, yeah, if this is the way it's going to go, we're not going to buy them anymore. Because I wouldn't have bought them if they were thin. So I think they went back to the thicker cards. So I have these sitting here. I'm like, I need to do something. And I talked to you guys about let's get some of these seasons that I have on the table. Let me play them. Let me feel good about coming downstairs and saying, oh yeah, I played them. I got my money's worth. And I've always wanted to do this project. I was going to do it in hockey, but I said I'll do it in baseball. And I said I'll pull out the Strat Basic and I'll play 76. So I get it on the table, or I take all the teams and play everybody in a best of 3. So in this particular season with 24 teams in 76, we're going to play 1 versus 24, and that was the game last night. That was the Reds and the Expos. And the Reds, if I look at the standings here, where's my standings in 76? So the Reds, if I sort it by everyone, the Reds had 102 wins, so they were the top seed, and the Expos only had 55 wins, and they were the bottom seed. So those two teams played a best of 3. And the Expos knocked off the top-seeded Reds, so we'll have a new champion in Dave's replay here. My next series is the second-place Phillies against the 23rd place White Sox, and they're playing best of 3. And the Phils needed a 9th-inning run. It was 1-0. The White Sox tied it in the top of the 9th, and then the Phils came back and got one in the bottom of the 9th to win it 2-1. So they lead that series 1-0, best of 3. So we're going to be going to Chicago now, and I already have my logos here ready to go. As you know, I have them on the table, so I got my Phillies and my Sox logos all ready to go for my game 2. I don't know which ones I'll stream out of that, and I'm just going to go right down the line and whittle it down to 12, then whittle it down to 6, whittle it down to 3, and then the final 3 teams, I think they'll play like a little round robin type of thing where we'll play each other once, and if anybody gets 2 wins, then they'll be the champ of the project. But that's what I wanted to do, is get every team involved, get a couple of games out of every team, so that way I can go back someday and say, yep, I took out my 76 season and I got my money's worth, and I feel pretty good about that. So that's the project. What I'm going to do is, when it's National League, we play National League rules, just with the pitcher hitting in the whole bit. Anytime there's an American League team involved, that's when the DH comes in. So last night we just had the 2 National League teams, so we went pitcher. And, it's something that I wanted to kind of get over that hump because I do. If you know me on the channel, I avoid National League games because I don't want to have to deal with that. But I got to say, I had fun last night. I don't know what it was about last night. It just clicked for me. And the other thing was the advice in the chat room, because I was asking all these people, and even Ron was chiming in from time to time. I call him Sleepy Ron. He was sleep. I kept Facebooking him. He's just like, I'm sleeping. I'm like, yeah, but what do I do? So he'd respond and then go back to bed. And then the next inning, like, all right, need you again. What do I do? I kept waking him up. I should have actually called his phone and had it ring, and that would have been funny. Or called DoorDash and had him deliver a cup of coffee to him or something like that. But just everybody chiming in, it really helped. It really helped me learn how to do that, and it was fun. And the idea was Strat Basic, and somebody else said, boy, I really like Strat Basic because, of the decisions you make, whereas APA, you don't make any decisions, and that's why I do like APA. But once in a while, it's nice to make those decisions. Not all the time, but sometimes I do like that. And you've seen some of the games I play here on the channel where there's no decisions to be made, and I really like that. And other times I do make decisions in games, and for that particular game, I like it. And I'm off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. There was one game I played. Oh, you know what it was? It was I think it's the APA football, where you do have to make decisions. I mean, you can find a thing to call plays, but Grant's game, you roll for the play. Saltair Pro Football, you roll for the play. Even second season, you roll for the play. But APA, you're kind of on your own, but it works. You can call your own play in APA, and it works. The other games, you can still call your own play, but there is an automatic way to choose what you're going to do. But with APA, it works. For me, with baseball, I like the strat. Do I want to hold the runner or not? Because that'll make a difference. In fact, there was someone that if you roll the 4-11, you get the plus. And that's what I got. I got the plus. And it's like, man, if I was holding the runner, it would have been a single 2 bases. But because I wasn't, I got the double play. And so just little things. It's not a ton of decisions, but it's enough that it keeps it interesting. And so last night, I think I get over the hump of the pitcher hitting thing is what it is. And it was just so fun. It was so fun. So that is the project, is 1 verse 24, then going all the way down the list. And Tim's here, and he says, when I get to the Tigers, be sure to stream the Bird Fidress. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Let me tell you the matchups, just in case anybody's wondering, the matchups in 76. So we have the Reds and the Expos, and again, the Expos upset the Reds. So the Reds are done in 2 out of 3 games. The Expos took 2 in Cincinnati to win. So now I have the Phillies and the White Sox on the table. We had Gossage and Carlton. That was a fun matchup. The next matchup will be the Yankees and the Brewers. Then we'll have the Pirates and the Braves. Then the Dodgers and the Cardinals. There's a lot of AL and NL going head-to-head here, but there is a little bit of a mix. Then we'll have the Kansas City Royals and the San Diego Padres. And the other great thing about this project is the idea that you're going to have some games that never, ever happened in real life. The Royals never played the Padres in that year. And I'm going to get to play them. And it's just going to be fun to see that, because I wanted to do this in hockey, and I probably will. Because when I was a kid, the Bruins could play the Kings in round 1. And the Bruins could play the Canadiens in the finals, or the Rangers in the finals. Now, it's all the East-West. And so you separate everything by East-West. And you can, in the 90s, the Colorado-Detroit series in hockey were unbelievable. And that's what you wanted for the Stanley Cup, because those 2 teams, their series, there was a black and blue series, and that's the way to go. And then the winner would come out and then go into the Stanley Cup, and the Stanley Cup just never measured up to the Western Conference Finals. I feel there was a few years that I wanted to see Colorado-Detroit for the Stanley Cup, and you'll never get it. So I always liked the 1-16 playoffs where anybody plays anybody, because I remember on my birthday as a kid, the Bruins were playing the Kings in the playoffs. I thought that was pretty cool. and you can't have that. So this project is something that is me kind of doing something I've always wanted to see happen in real life, which is anybody playing anybody. So on that, so that one there was the what did I say? It was the Padres and the Royals. Then you have the Orioles, and the Orioles will be playing the Giants. That'd be fun. Orioles and the Giants. Then we'll have the Athletics and the Tigers. So the Oakland A's will play the Tigers. So then you'll see Fidrich in there, in that one there. Then we'll have the Mets and the Cubs, the Twins and the Angels. The Red Sox will play Texas, and the Cleveland Indians will play the Houston Astros. So we only got, what, maybe 4 or 5 out of the 12 matchups will be AL versus NL. But they're in there, and it should be fun. And I really can't wait to see how this thing progresses. But playing with the Strat Basic, it's just easy for me. It's the basic fielding chart. This works very well. I like that. I like how, I have this thing here, this other chart, and that is nice and simple for Dave. And I don't have to really get into anything super duper mooper or anything. I just play, and for me, it's fun. And there's some people who play Strat hockey and straight only basic Strat hockey, and if it's fun for them, do it. When I play Strat hockey, it's not very often, although I'm going to really try to get some Strat hockey going again. See if I can get my interest back in that. I play advanced, which is just a little bit more than basic. I think it gives you a little bit more, but it's still not as crazy. But you still have all the penetration and stuff, and there's things that there's a few things in advanced that you don't get in basic, as far as like the forecheck and things like that. That can get kind of confusing. And I don't play super advanced hockey except on a computer because you have to. But some people say I'm just playing the basic hockey strat, and if that works for them, it works for them. I play the basic baseball, it works for me, and that's what it is. Trav says I prefer the top 16 teams in the playoffs. Yeah, well, the idea behind this project was I want to play everyone. I want to get everyone on the table. I want to see some of the pitchers and the batters from 76. And I didn't want to have anybody still sitting on the shelf. So this gets everybody on the table, at least for a couple of games. And that was the idea behind putting everybody in there. And already we had an upset. The first series, seed 24 advances. Gonzaga knocks off NC State, something like that. Brian, inspired by me playing Strat Baseball, just rolled out a 57 Braves 8-6 win over the 60 Pirates. Spawn with the win, and Braves hit 3 home runs, and they score 5 in the 8th. Isn't that why we play this? Because it's just so fun. And even tonight, I was on the phone with Ron, and he's laughing. He's laughing at that, how much drama in these games I get. Here's the one I played tonight, the White Sox and the Phillies. Okay, so the Phillies get one in the first. They hit Gossage around. Cash gets a single. Schmidt with a single. Luzinski walks, and then he walks in Allen. So they walk home a run. So the Phillies at 1-0, and that's all the scoring till the 9th. It's 1-0. I'm like, holy cow! The Phillies, are they going to get knocked off by the 23rd seed? I'm not sure. So we get to the 9th, and the White Sox get a leadoff single. Then they get a single 2 bases. And then that's when we had a strikeout in there too. That's when we played for the double play, and it was hit down the first. And because we were playing for the double play, we didn't get the double play. And it turned into, I think it was an X. Actually, it was a pitcher's card X reading. And the play was, he scoops it up. The only play is the first, or something like that. Or it was a B. I think it was a B. I think it was a ground ball. Ground ball B. Yeah. It was a ground ball B, so it was runner at first is outgoing, the second batter is safe, all others runners advance a base. So that's what we went with. And so they tied it up in the 9th. It was like, how cool is that? 9th inning, they scratch across a run. Then in the bottom of the 9th, Maddox leads off with a double. We sacrifice him the 3rd, and then we get a hit back to the pitcher. They try to turn 2 after there was a couple other things that happened in the middle of that, but they try to turn 2. They didn't get it, and the run will score. Double play is not turned, and that is that. So So Ron, I was on the phone with Ron while I was rolling. I go, check this out, Ron. He's laughing. He's like, wow. He goes, you get some drama in your games. I go, I do, and that's why we play. That we can just sit here and I went 7 innings of boredom, and then we get to the 9th, and they couldn't close it out. They tied it up, and I'm like, we're going to extras, and the Phillies said no, they didn't. So yeah, that's why we play these things. And we have a good time with them. And sometimes we can have duds. They happen, duds happen, but sometimes you get these really nice ones. But so I did want to come on tonight and talk about the National League and pitchers hitting. How I grew up with DHs, and I never saw the. Again, I didn't grow up in the 50s and 60s watching the old school stuff. So when I started watching baseball, pitchers pitched and that was it. And they wanted more offense, and the DH was better than the pitcher hitting. And I could never understand the National League setting up a pitcher to hit. I always thought that was weird because I didn't grow up with it. I grew up with a DH. But now I can see the fun that you can have. I've seen the fun that you can have with pitchers hitting. So let me turn my attention now over to Strat Baseball a little bit, and then I'll get to something else I've been working on. So this project here was a good chance for me to pull out the Strat Baseball and get back into it in basic mode anyway. And boy, I tell you, I kind of found a renewed love for the Strat Baseball here. And not that I've lost any love for any of these other games. Don't get me wrong. I still like my other games. But this has just been fun, and I like the app because you get the numbers and you get the charts. I love my charts. I just do. I'm a math guy. I'm a chart guy. I'm a protractor guy. I mean, I always like numbers and things. And so I like the APA stuff, and I still do. The baseball, football, hockey, love it. Golf, I'm still learning. It's very difficult, but I will get back to that. But so the APA stuff ain't going anywhere. I like that. But it is kind of neat, with the Strat, having everything right here on the card. And aside from a couple of chart lookups, everything's off the card, and that makes it kind of fun too. And so they're two different games, but I really started getting into the Strat Baseball when I started this project. And I'm like, I'm kind of digging this. I wish they had more seasons. I looked here. I do have a bunch of seasons. So I'm glad I got some of them when I did, because when Strat's out of stock, they're out of stock. And so I did grab 2004, and I did play a game of that the other day. So that's the Red Sox championship. So I did grab that. I think I played the Angels. I think I did. Maybe I did it here. I'm not sure, but I like that. And I did grab everything that was in stock that I could grab at the time. I think it was 73, 77, 80, and 82 I grabbed. So I have a bunch of seasons in my wheelhouse of Strat. I was bidding on 1995 on eBay, and it started getting up near $100. I was like, as much as I'd like to get 95 cards and dice so I could play some Red Sox and Tim Wakefield, I was like, it was up near $100. It was supposedly everyone. It supposedly was everyone in the set, but you never know what you're going to get on eBay. And someone outbid me. It was up around $90. I was like, nah. And then I don't know if the shipping was free, if it was $20 for shipping or whatever it was. But I was like, I'm all set. I'm all set with that. I got some seasons here I can play. I still got 73 and 77 and 80 and 2004. I did actually pick up 1911 a while back as a joke. I have that. Oh, I have 86 too. I didn't realize that. So I do have a handful of seasons that I can play and have some fun with in Strat Basic. And so I probably will. I'll be playing a bunch of Strat. So it's nice to see Strat Basic Baseball back here on the table, having some fun with it. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I know you guys probably want me to play Advanced and Super Advanced, but that's just not my thing. So hopefully you guys can enjoy the ride when I play the basic. Oh, let's see here. Back into the chat room here before I get to my other topic I want to talk about. And Brian says, I just literally pulled 2 envelopes out of the box. Spawn and Friend got roughed up a little bit. Aaron went 4 for 5. Clement a 3-1 double. Isn't that fun sometimes when you just go and you pull out a couple teams? I'll go over here. Again, all my APA stuff is right behind me over here. Okay, all my APA hockey and baseball over there. Sometimes I'll go over and I'll look at the shelf. Okay, what year? Okay, 70, 78, 79. Sounds good. What teams? Oh, this team. Yeah, let's play these 2 teams. And I just play. And I do that all the time. And sometimes I stream and sometimes I just play it on the tabletop. But you know me, I'm a one-off guy. And sometimes I'll just do that. And I feel good that I played some teams that I have. And so I try to play every season when I can. So I've done that too. It's just pulled out a couple of teams. Trav is going to play some Strat hockey tonight. So cool. So cool. I think I need to get my my orange cream going here. What do you think? I did games all weekend. Then last night I did a game. It was not a smart idea doing the game last night and screaming and yelling because I had to go back. I did a game yesterday. I did a 12-hour day. And then I come home and did that last night with you guys. And then today I had to get up. I basically woke up and just drove to the rink and did another game. So I was kind of tired. The voice was kind of tired. But that's why I didn't really stream anything tonight till now. Now I'm talking. And Brian says, yeah, my game tonight, I only like 3 chart hookups. Everything was a result from the cards. Yep. There's nothing wrong with that. And Alan comes by. Thanks for coming by, Alan. Always loved playing Strat and found it the easiest to play. The problem is that I can't do season replays because they don't offer all the plays. Yeah, that's the other thing that you do have to need to find. Oh, what was that about the bullpen there? Sorry about that. I'm looking forward to helping manage the Expos bullpen again the next Strat round. Well, I don't know if you caught that. I just played the game 1 of the Phillies and the White Sox, and I apologize for anybody that has already heard the story. Game 1, it was Gossage against Carlton. So again, it's fun pulling out these teams and seeing the names. So I get to play Goose Gossage, and Steve Carlton tonight. That's great. I grew up with those guys. I really did. And the Phillies got one in the first. They took that 1-run lead to the 9th. The White Sox scratched across a run, like literally scratched across a run to tie it. And then Maddox opens up the 9th with a double. And then after a hit and a walk and another failed double play, the Phillies win it in the bottom of the 9th. Drama. Good times. And I can't wait to play the rest of that series and get on with the other ones and see who's going to come out of this the champ. And I want to keep it simple. And I know last night people saying, "Oh, we got to put in the guys the starter from game 1." It's like I want to just go with the pen. You know, I know it's an elimination game and the whole bit, but I still just want to kind of keep it simple and not really get that detailed. So I just went with the relievers and the closers, and that's kind of how I'm going to do it. But I am having a lot of fun here with this project here. I don't want to get too serious and crazy. You know, I was talking to Ron today. So here's who you should go with in this series, and here's who should be the reliever in the whole bit. I'm like, yeah, I don't know anybody that much, so I don't know how crazy I want to get with that. But you know, he had some really good suggestions on who to go with and how to handle it. I'm just what I'm doing because they're a 3-game series. I want to take the top 3 pitchers. So it's like game 1, game 2, game 3, and those are your guys that are going to go. And you know, they can't pitch twice in a series and stuff like that. It's kind of what I thought I would do. I need to get more of the stuff. This is the bubbly, and this is the orange cream. It's almost like it's like an orange cream, like a creamsicle. Yeah, my favorite color, right? Creamsicle. And so so that's there with the Strat. I'm really liking it. But yeah, like Alan said, payoff pitch is fantastic. They have everybody. Appa sometimes has everybody too. It really does. And Strat doesn't always have everybody. There was a couple guys, I think people were asking me to play, and it's like, I don't think I have them. So, but what I'm doing also with that project, and I'll stop talking about the project. That's over there. The roster sheet that came with 76. All I'm doing, again, to keep it fair and keep it just simple, I went with the most played lineups. So whatever Strat sent me for players in lineups, that's what I'm using. I'm just using different pitchers. I will pinch hit and pinch run with the cards that I have. And but the idea is just to get teams on the table, have a manageable project where I can see everybody in the league, or at least most of the stars in the league, and have some fun with it. See what kind of upsets I got. I already have an upset, and already the project is off to a good start. So the idea wasn't to do an as played or anything like that. It was just to whatever Strat said that their lineup was, that's what I went with. I can alter it if I want. I can pinch hit and pinch run when I want. But that was the idea behind this project. And for me, so far, it's been a blast. I've only played 4 games. I'm having a blast. Here's the pitch. Yeah, I've heard of that one, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I still have a football game and a hockey game somebody sent me in my inbox, and I haven't had a chance to get to it. Because, I'd have to learn how to play these, and I just haven't had a chance. I'm hoping to get to it at some point, but let's see what else is here. Alan says, I'm looking for it. Oh, okay, we already did that. Sorry about that. I'm on the wrong one here. And yes, I'll do that again. When the Expos get to round 2, so if the Phillies win over the White Sox, they'll play the Phillies because the Phillies will be the top seed. That's kind of how that'll go. Now, can they knock off the top 2 teams? Probably not. But it's still going to be fun. That's still fun that they got by them. And let's see, where are we now? Todd, have you ever given thought to whoever's the highest seed in your matchup gets a DH or not? No. The idea has always been just to I was going to do DH for everyone. And for some reason, I said, no, if it's National League, I'm going to go with the pitchers. I'm going to force myself to play National League Baseball because I really should. If I'm going to play some baseball, I really should play National League, the way it was, just to kind of have the feel of it. I mean, I could DH in, and, I almost did. I was this close to having DH for everything. But I says, no, if it's national, we're going to go pitchers hitting. And I'm glad I did because we had a supreme game last night. It was really fun. So no, there's no, I think if you're the top seed, then you should have the advantage, just by being the better team. So I do want to kind of keep all the rules kind of the same, but an interesting idea. Enzo, what made you do this project with Strat versus APA? The idea was for me to give Strat another chance because I haven't played Strat in a long time. I've been kind of the APA guy. Never. It's not like I didn't like Strat, but APA just kind of played my song a little bit more, if you will. And so I wanted to go back to Strat, and every time I pulled out Strat Basic, I had a good time with it. But there was a couple little things that tripped me up from here and there. But I always enjoyed the Basic, and when I says, the idea behind this project again is to get something on the table that I haven't played before and try to get as many teams as possible. And I was always you need to do like a whole playoffs thing or a whole season thing, and as played. And I always felt if you did a shortened season or did something weird, it wasn't right. You kind of had to do what was in the season. I always had that. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's my OCD or what it is. And then I saw all these other people doing different products and like, hey, I'm playing just the American League East, or I'm playing a 10-game season. And I was like, boy, that's kind of weird. You're not playing the whole season. But then I was like, that's a great idea. That way you get more teams on the table and you're not committed to a 3-year-long project. And so as I've been going through the community and watching other people do things, I'm living and learning and giving some things a chance. I'm trying pineapple on the pizza. You should try it. It's pretty good. And I'm finding that I like it. And this project here, I'm really looking forward to it. So that's the only reason I went with Strat is because I was looking around here and walking around, Studio B, and like, what do I have for seasons? I should play some Strat Basics. So I was going to do 2004. I did do the Red Sox Angels game 1 of the playoffs, but I was like, no, I got 1976. I haven't touched it yet. Some other seasons I played some games. I haven't done 76. This would be a good time to do this project. So that's what it was. It was just I got a lot of APA projects going, but I did want to try something different, and that's all it was. It was really no, it wasn't like flipping a coin. It wasn't like this. It just was, I want to get something on the table, something a little bit different, and I want to give this another chance. That's what it was. So that's all it was with that. And I will be doing some APA, and I want to talk about APA in 1 second too. Last night, we made Chip Lang more famous than he could ever dreamed about. Yep. We had a lot of talks about him. Yep. And Barbara says, yep, that is that. And Triple G play, National League home pitchers hit. I could do that too. That's an idea because that would be kind of real. But I've kind of already decided that were going to go DH with any American League team. Probably because I was shying away from the pitchers hitting, but after last night, that's the way to go. That was some fun, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But D. Scott coming by. Thanks for coming by here. I saw him and Ron Stream earlier. Ron did a doubleheader today. That guy, I tell you, he's got that new wheelchair. You just can't catch this guy. He's all over town. He's all over the internet. And he did some games today. Before I think I was on my way to the rink and he was doing a game. And then I come home and I grab something to eat and I watched a little bit of football. I was like, I'm going on again. So he double dipped today. Ron was a double dipper. And I saw D. Scott in that chat room. And pineapple is good on pizza. It's the sugar salt thing. It really is. It really is. I'm not an anchovies guy. Never have been. You know, I'm not even a pepperoni guy. I think the pizza is salty enough and you put the pepperoni on it and it's like, oh my gosh, I just feel like that's like, 6 weeks worth of salt with the pepperoni. So I'm not a big pepperoni guy. David comes by, just finished payoff pitch, 1921. Yes, that's another game I need to get on the channel here again. I just went through my seasons. This is what I got for payoff pitch season because I was getting ready for Black Friday because I'm starting to contact people about Black Friday deals for the Black Friday show. I have a good chunk of payoff pitch seasons, and that's a game like Ron says. It's definitely not Strat Basic or Rapid Basic. It's definitely a more of an involved game. Now you can play it as simple as you like, but it's a lot more involved. I like it, but sometimes I get lost in that game, and so the Rapid Basic and Strat Basic, it's a little bit less for me to deal with. But I have 77, 78, 79. 79 was the first one. Remember that? I made that season. I bought the PDF and I brought it into Photoshop and I put in the logos and I colored everything. It took me weeks and I printed out every single card. So I have 79 in my own. 77, the rest of them are all printed, 77, 78. And then I have a bunch of 80s. 80, 81, 82, 85, and 86. And then I got 1889 for some reason. Because I love his cards and I like to support Joe. So I wish they had 95 or 74 because I would absolutely pick those up. Those are two seasons I want to play so bad and payoff pitch. The 95 for app is just so expensive because you got to buy the extra cards. And I just have to I have to have those extra cards. I just do. I'm so bad like that. And yes, it is, Keith. San Diego Mariners. I picked up a couple of WHA shirts. They had a spring sale or a July 4th sale over the summer. And I clicked on this site and I think they were, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks or something like that. Hey, we're getting rid of these shirts. We don't even know what teams they are. That's basically what they said on the website. It's like, well, I'll take a couple. So I picked up a couple of WHA shirts. Yeah. Yep. And what's funny is I've had the Mariners here on the channel a couple times. I think I get them with Apper and I'm not sure what other game I got, but they've appeared on the channel. So the San Diego Mariners have seen some light of day here on the channel. So that is that. And Enzo says, what rink are you near? You're a broadcaster? Hi, yes, I broadcast junior hockey games and sometimes college hockey games. And so I was up in New Hampshire today doing a USPHL game. And yesterday and the day before. There's 3 levels. This team has 3 levels, and I do all 3. So I'll do between the showcases and all those home games and playoffs. I'll probably do 80 or 90 games this year, and it's every day, pretty much. Somehow, some way, I'm at a rink. So yeah, I've had maybe I don't think I've had a full day off since the middle of September. My next full day off, I think, will be Thanksgiving. That's my next full day off, I'm pretty sure. And it's not really a day off because you're running around with family. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not. I come home tonight and I need to play something. I said, I'd like to have a whole day or 2 days where I could just do nothing but play. Because I want to play. I need to play some Apple football. That's one of my favorite games, but I don't have the 2 or 3 hours to set it up and play because I need the table for other things here, for other things I do. And I need to leave that set up or at least get it done. But I just don't have the attention span or the time or the energy to play a big game like that right now. And that's what stinks. But I am making some money. So The extra games I put in this week, I'm going to buy. I think it's going to be 85 Apple Football. I think that's what I'm going with. I think I'm going to do that. So yeah, so I do. I'm an actual hockey broadcaster. So when you see me play Apple hockey here or Hockey Bones, I'm practicing my broadcasting. Is what I'm kind of doing with that. Inside the crease, I got to say, is the best for that. Inside the crease PC, because you get the block shots, the loose pucks, and things like that. So during the summer, I'll pull out inside the crease on the PC and I'll play that, and I'll get some really good broadcasting exercises in with that. So I try to give you guys an actual hockey broadcast when I do it, because that's kind of what I do from time to time. Let's see what else we got here. And oh, geez, your son played in the USPHL. Went as high as the East Coast Hockey. It's very nice. What team was he playing on, if you don't mind me asking? And how long ago was it? And you know what's kind of neat? Downey Games, I think it was 2020? Downey Games, they had a collection of like every league on sale for their Final Score hockey game. And I think they had USPHL, and they had the team that I do in there. Now, at the time, I wasn't doing them, but they're in there. So if I wanted to, I could go back and roll some games with Downey and play junior hockey with that Downey. It was like the complete set, it was called. And I think it had like East Coast and juniors and stuff like that. It's really kind of cool, actually. I don't know. I don't know if I still have. Hopefully I still have that. I go to my Downey hockey folders and Final Score hockey. I don't know what it was called. Oh, it was the Universe. Yeah, there was the 2020. And I open it up. Let's see. Yeah, I get the USPHL 2019-20 USPHL, and it's got all the teams. I probably did a couple of their games. All right, so I'll tell you what it's got here. It's a lot of leagues, so hang on to your hat. It's got the NHL, the NAJHL, with teams like the Amarillo Bulls and the Chippewa Steel, the NOJHL, the Blind River Beavers, and the Sioux Eagles and the Sioux Thunderbirds, the National Women's Hockey League. So you got the Pride, the Brutes, the Whale, the Riveters, and the Whitecaps. That should be fun. The OHL, the Erie Otters and the Flint Firebirds and the Hamilton Bulldogs, London Knights, Mississauga Steelheads. The OJHL, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the SIJHL, which has got the Fort Francis Lakers, Thunder Bay North Stars, the SJHL, Slovakian Extra League, the SPHL, Southern Professional League, I think that's what it is, the Sweden First Division, Sweden Hockey League, Swiss B, Swiss A, USHL, the Green Bay Gamblers and things like that, the USPHL, so it's going to have your Boston Junior Bruins, Connecticut Junior Rangers, the Northern Cyclones, the Twin City Thunder. So those are some of the teams that I'm doing right now. The WHL, the AHL. Oh, it has the AHL. Interesting. And then the AJHL. I'm not sure what that one is. Oh, it goes on. Alps Hockey League, Austrian League, BCHL. Not sure where they are. And it goes on. You get a ton of stuff. Oh, here's these. No, EHL. Oh, okay. Boston Junior Rangers again in the EHL. Yeah, I did them. East Coast Wizards, I think I did a couple games. Vermont Lumberjacks, I remember doing them in a festival. So yeah, so if I wanted to go back to 2019, I could do a whole bunch of leagues here. And it'd be nice if they updated that. But there was the Hockey Universe, the 2020 Hockey Universe. And I don't know if they've done any more with that, but so I had to grab that during the last Downey sale. Let me go back to the chat room here. I kind of got off on a tangent. And Barbara says, yeah, no on the anchovies. Yep, I get that. Yep. And Brian says he made pizza bread tonight, garlic bread with sauce, cheese, and pepperoni. It turned out pretty good. It sounds pretty good. Now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry. I really am. And MV comes by. Hi, MV. Justin, he's an Apper guy. And Triple G, 77 Apple football should be here Tuesday. Crossing Franks. Let me tell you something, Triple G. So let's chat. Me and Triple G are going to chat. Those were my two. In fact, on Patreon, I asked the Patreon people that sponsored the podcast. Like, okay, need some feedback. 77's out, but 85's out. I can only get one. I can only get one football season for APA. What do I want to do? And so they went back and forth, and everybody made their cases. It was pretty good, So the case for 77 for me was it was the Buccaneers' second season, and they won a couple games. So I would absolutely play that New Orleans game and the Cardinals game to see if they could win those two games. Obviously, the Super Bowl was with Dallas, Denver. I didn't know too much about Denver, but I always liked the Dallas teams of the 70s. They were always pretty fun. And there's a few other things in 77 that I thought were kind of neat. But 85, that's you got the Bears. How can you not want to play some Bears? You got the Patriots. That's the team that I like there, and they went all the way to Super Bowl. So I'd love to play that Jets, the Raiders, and the Miami playoff games. That should be fun. And then you got some things like Jim Zorn from the Seahawks. Remember Jim Zorn from the Seahawks original quarterback? He's with Green Bay. I thought that was kind of neat. And Steve Young was with Tampa Bay. So that would be another game to play in 77. 85 would be Steve Young and Jim Zorn in a Green Bay Tampa Bay game. That would be kind of fun. And there was a couple of others in 85. I think is that Marino Elway season? So I was going back and forth between 77 and 85, and I think 85 is going to win out. I really do. I just think that there was I think you got the Elway. So I'm just logging in so I can get rid of the ads. I support this channel because I'm there 10 times a day. So if I go to my passing, where is my passing? Passing offense. Oh, it's not showing my quarterbacks. Oh, was it leaders? Yeah, leaders. There we go. Yeah. So you got Marino and Elway and Montana, Sims, Danny White, Ron Jaworski, Dan Fouts, Boone. So yeah, 85. Warren Moon. 85. I think I'm going to go to 85. Theismann's still kicking around in 85. He's 36 years old. Things like that. Bernie Kosar's in Cleveland. Gary Danielson's also in Cleveland. Ron and I talked about this the whole way. When I drove home tonight from the rink, we talked the whole way about quarterbacks and kickers. So I think I'm leaning 85 instead of 77. I would like 77 at some point. The other thing is I have 76 and I have 78 and I also have 75. So I have 75, 76, 78, 81, and I even have 79 in the old set. So as much as I'd like to complete my wheelhouse there, I think I'm going to bump up to 85 and get that season there. So that is that. Back in the chat room here. So he played with the Junior Islanders in 2014 to 17, and he played at Wheeling with the Nailers for a few years. Nice. I don't know if I was doing anything in 2017 with the juniors at that point. I did PA for a while, so maybe I did some PA with him on it. If they come up here to New Hampshire at all. But it was at the Islanders Hockey Club, I think they're called. Or at least that's what they were called back. That's what they're called now, I think. And World's Worst Games says he has a bunch of seasons here for payoff pitch and still hasn't touched them. I have some I haven't touched, but I have played some of that. That's one of those games that when I pull out and I play, I have an absolute blast with. I really do. And I love the cards. I love how it's all set up and the whole bit. And season ticket baseball is another one that I haven't played in a while. And that's another one I really, really enjoy. The only thing is it's all PDF, so you got to print out the teams. And I think I did print out one full season, and, that was kind of fun. But I kind of enjoy ordering the cards now and not having to cut and print. It's just kind of what I like now. And the Kitchener Rangers, you forgot about them. The Kitchener Rangers. Yeah. I used to, hang on one second. When I first met my wife, well, she was my wife at the time, obviously. But, well, we moved into an apartment south of here. And this is like right when the internet come out. So I think we had AOL dial up. So the internet wasn't the internet. There was really not like the web page. It was basically just email and chat rooms. Okay. So I bought an AM radio so I could do some DXing. It's called AM radio is DXing, distance listening. And I got this really cool one from, I think it was called the GE Super Radio. It was called. And on the AM dial, it was pretty deep. It had a pretty big ferrite rod in it. And you'd move it. I'd walk around the house and try to pick up distant stations to see how far I could get. And I remember in that apartment that we lived in, if I got in the right spot at the right time of year, I could listen to the Kitchener Rangers. That was pretty cool. So because I was like, oh, I got the Rangers game. And it was the Kitchener Rangers. But I picked them up on the AM dial. So I listened to a lot of Kitchener Rangers back in the day, just so you know. So I didn't forget about them. I see Nichols, Collins, and Webster after the Junior Islanders and SPHL and some EHL. Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. And Trev, I subscribe to Flow Sports for the hockey, Trev. Okay, well, if you want to hear me do a game, you need to look up the Northern Cyclones, not the Cincinnati Cyclones, but the Northern Cyclones of the USPHL. And that'll be me for the home games, I should say. And I did a couple of games for the Thunder Hockey Club recently too, and so you'll hear me on there. And Flow Sports is great. I mean, they have the AHL, they have the East Coast Hockey League, right? So I can watch the Worcester team, and I can also watch like the Hershey Bears. My friend likes the Hershey Bears, so I'll watch the Hershey Bears. I like the Portland Pirates, so I'll watch them sometimes. And then I'll watch a bunch of junior teams. Like I'll put on some of the junior hockey leagues I got, and just to see the different ranks and see how the other announcers do it. But yeah, I'm on Flow Sports. If you check out the Northern Cyclones in the USPHL, they have the NCDC Premier and the Elite Division, and right now I'm doing all the home games for all of them. And Alberta Junior Hockey is the AJHL. Okay, Alberta Junior Hockey, because they used to be around here. There was the MJHL, was the Metro Junior Hockey League, and then there was an AJHL here too, I thought. So that's why I got confused, because I don't know if they're still around. They keep changing. Now it's the EHL, and then it was the EHJHL, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of different junior hockey leagues that I used to do. I used to do all the festivals, and now I've kind of landed with a team, which I really like. And yeah, 1985. Yep. Yeah, there was just a lot of reasons to go with 85. At some point, I'll probably get 77, but I think I'm going to go with 85. And yeah, I'll get my wife on it. I'm going to get her 77. Here you go. What's this? It's like Homer when he bought Marge the bowling ball. Nice. You guys stop talking about pizza? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so hungry. So hungry. All righty. ST Patrick, good to see you, bud. We haven't really talked too much since Ohio. We're getting a few more details on Digital to DiceCon, so I'm still hoping you can make that out there. Looking forward to seeing you again. I think I'm trying to coordinate with Mike to get back to Ohio next August. So I'm going to have a busy year. I'm going to Colorado in March for the roller hockey finals, then Colorado in, is it June for play, and then August I'm supposed to go back to Ohio. So I'm going to be bopping around. Oh, and then in May, I'll be in Connecticut for digitaltodice.com. So, ST, hi, Dave. When I used to go to the Quad City Mallards game in the late 90s, they used to draw close to 8,000 fans. They were in the UHL. Do you have any games? Do any games have the UHL? I don't know if they were around in 2020, then that the one I just read off there, the Downey universe would have it. But no, not many people have the UHL. Although, oh, you couldn't do it. I was wondering if Franchise Hockey Manager might have the UHL, but I don't think you can play it, really. Or could you? Oh, no, well, you could, but you'd have to play modern day. That's what it is. Yeah, because the new Franchise Hockey Manager, you can play historically with the AHL. So I went back to 94 and played the Worcester Ice Cats, and I'm having fun with that. But if you want to play any of the other leagues, they get a ton of leagues on there. I'm not sure if they have UHL, but they have a ton of leagues, but you'd have to play the modern day is what it would be. And they don't have the USPHL because I'd love to play the team that I'm broadcasting, but they don't have them, unfortunately. And, yeah, Dave Little, good to see you, Dave. 85 Bears defense. Yeah, yep. And Keith says he's got Salty Pro Football 85 Bears. Yeah, I think I have that too. Ron's been playing that. What's he been playing? 81 or 88. Ron's been playing with Salty Pro Football offline. That's a game I played a lot. I still like that. I pulled that out in Ohio, and Mike and I were playing that in the lobby. And I come home and I took it out, and I've been playing it here myself. I really, really like that game. And VL likes the Phillies hat. Yeah, well, I'm wearing that because I'm playing some Phillies in my new project there. I don't know if you heard about that project there, but I'm playing 1976 Strat Basic, and I got my my Jim Longboard card here. And I'm playing all 24 teams in a 1-24 playoff format in Strat Basic. And so I have Phillies and the White Sox on the table right now. And for the White Sox in game 2, it's going to be Ken and Brett. So I have that on the table ready to go for hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Depends how busy I am. But I figured I'd put on the Phillies hat because that's the next series. And let's see. Oh, Midlife Crisis in here. Good to see you here. 85 Colts had no D quarterback, but they could run on anybody. Fun team to play. Now the 85 Colts. All right, so let me back this up. They were 5-11, and yeah, Mike Pagel and Art Schlichter were the quarterbacks, and for rushing, Randy McMillan looks like is your guy for running, and George Wansley. I don't remember either one of those. I'm sorry, I just don't. Yep. That's one team. The Indianapolis Colts, and I don't really know much about the Indianapolis Colts from 1985. But the Browns have a great running game. Yeah, Ron was talking about that on the way home today when we were talking. And yeah, Ernest Biner and Kevin Mack. Yep. So those were the horses on that team. So the Browns would be fun to play in 85. And then the Niners, well, they just come off the Super Bowl, didn't they? So the 49ers were 10-6 previous season. They were 15-1, and they beat Miami for the Super Bowl. But in 85, who did they have? Craig, Wendell Tyler. So they finished 10-6. They did make the playoffs, but they were bounced right away by the Giants, actually. So they didn't follow up their Super Bowl season with anything any good. And let me see. The Sarnia Sting. I don't know the Sarnia Sting. And if you took the plus 4.5 over on Jared Goff interceptions, you're a winner. 5 and counting. Oh, who's playing tonight? Who's playing? I kept an eye on some of the games. When I'm at the rink, I got my phone. Between periods, I can check the score. And so tonight is, just tell me the score here. I don't want to sign up for anything. 23-13. So Texans over the Lions. Interesting. Okay. Boy, the Cowboys. Oh man, they tied it. They ran the ball and they tied it, and there was a penalty. No, it was the they fumbled the ball. They're going in to take the lead against the Eagles, and the guy fumbles the ball. Oh man, the Cowboys are terrible. Jets are terrible too. So the Cowboys are 3-6. Jets are 3-7. They get crushed by the Cardinals. Who gets crushed by the Cardinals? The Jets. That's who. Boy, how bad are the Bears to lose at home to the Patriots and only score 3 points? Ooh. Do we have any Bears fans? I'm hoping that we don't. The Bills easily get by the Colts. The Chiefs win. They'll win every game. They'll be 175-0. The Falcons lose to the Saints. The Saints had 2 wins. They beat the Falcons. Oh man, the Falcons are bad. Tampa Bay loses to the 49ers. Don't care about Tampa Bay. Steelers win over the Commanders. Commanders are pretty good this year. I'm going to call them the Redskins. They're the Redskins. They're always the Redskins to me, not Commanders. And the Vikings barely get by the Jaguars. Vikings were 6-2. They're a hot team, and they can barely beat the Jaguars. And then the Giants, of course, lose. They're terrible. Poor Ron. Poor Giants fans. I feel bad for him. I really do. And Trav says, Flow Sports, he watched Hersey in Springfield. Yeah. And what I really like about that is you can go back and watch the replay. You don't have to catch it live. You know, back in the day, if you didn't catch it live, you had to wait a day. Now it's, I come home and I'll watch my game. So I'll say, how did I sound today? How did I do? And this and that. And they'll put some highlights on Twitter once in a while, but sometimes I'll come back and I'll say, I just want to see how the goals were scored. And I'll go back and watch the game that I did. And, just to kind of critique myself. So I do that. But yeah, I'll sit down and I'll watch a few minutes of, AHL and ECHL game and see how that goes. And, but they have them all. So it's a great value. It's unbelievable. What's it like $12 a month or $15 a month? I think I'm paying for that. And I have all the games that I do, plus the AHL, plus the ECHL, and they have a ton of sports. It's all included. Now you're not going to get, MLB and NHL, so you don't get the top tier, but there's a lot of things on there. There's always something to watch. Baseball and wrestling and racing and, all kinds of crazy things on Flow Sports. I'll sit down to sometimes on the iPad, just like, what can I watch that's different tonight? And watch a few minutes of that. And yes, they have a lot of junior leagues from Canada, so I like to tune in and watch some of that too. Enzo, he says, never once thought about Apple hockey, and I love the sport, but listening to me, I'm tempted. Baseball is more nostalgic, I guess, and stat-oriented. The Apple hockey, it took me a while to warm up to that, but I get it going, and I've done a ton of videos on Apple hockey to, if you need help to whatever. It just, you gotta, I hate to say you gotta play with it a little bit, but yeah, the modifications that the community's made, I've kind of taken them all and mushed them together, and then it works. I use a little bit of Zarb. I use a little bit of Mike Berger's stuff. I use a little bit of somebody else's stuff. I use a little bit of my own stuff. And all I really did is I just kind of, I get rid of the rough edges. And Tebow probably hates this when I say this stuff there, but because he likes to play it as is out of the box. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the penalties in APA, I never figured them out. I could never figure out how to do the penalties in APA hockey. So Mike Berger put out a chart. It says, if you get a penalty, roll on the chart. I roll on the chart and I get my answer. And also with assists, never could figure out how to do the assists. I thought I figured it out, and it took me forever. So now somebody come up with an assist chart. I roll on the assist chart. I get my assists. I'm done. You don't mess around or screw around with anything, and keep rolling until you're in the range. So those are the two big changes I made, was the penalties and the assists, having charts for those. And then also the ODAI, it's all individual now. Mike Berger, I think it was, again, come up with a way to do ODAI individually. So you roll the dice, you see who you're going up against, and that's who you check to see if there's any modifications to your roll. It is so fast. The game flies through me now. I really, really like the Apple hockey. So, and I don't mind helping people out with it because it is a little bit different. And Ed comes by. Ed, I've been enjoying some of your music stuff there. I did send you the picture of what I had with the, I got the electronic drum set, which I haven't played in a year since we got flooded down here, in my Randy Rhoads Flying V, which I did a review on. It's one of the most watched videos on my channel, was reviewing the Jackson, whatever it was. I did that video probably, 5 years ago, something like that. And I got a lot of reviews on that. I still haven't played it much. I actually bought the I forget what it's called, the Spark amp. I bought the Spark amp 2020 during the pandemic, and I've only played that a couple of times. I haven't played the guitar through it yet, if you can believe it. And now they've already come out with a second one. I'm just too busy. I got to pick something. I either play games on the table and do my YouTube, or I play music, you know. And Justin said, remember when ESPN used to sell roller hockey? Yeah, 1995, the RHI. Yep. Remember those back in the day? Some of the NHL players were playing that. I think the Trottier played in that, and there was a couple other guys, NHL guys, that were playing in the RHI when it first started. And yeah, I'll be going to Colorado in March for the finals. I do a weekly podcast for them right now. I do that here. And last year we did the playoffs. I did the playoffs from here. They gave me the feed, and I was just kind of broadcasting the feed from here. And I've done that just like I did with the Edmonton ball hockey this summer. I did that feed from here. The technology is great because you can do it from here, and I don't have to travel, and I can just plug in and go. And then when I'm done, just, go upstairs and, watch TV. I don't have to get on a plane or anything like that. ST says, I will be at D2D-Con. Great. And he's going to see me in Colorado and Ohio. Wow, we're going to be getting together quite a bit next year. That should be a great time. Yep. And Ed says he likes the Amerks in the background. I think I already showed that. Yeah, I have that. The Amerks there. I get a handful of AHL. I get the Springfield Falcons and the Ice Cats there, right? I get all three. These are all the teams from the 90s that we went to. And ST, these live events are amazing. I recommend to everyone, if you can go. You never know how long they'll last, but you'll not regret it. Yeah, if you can get, those are fun. But it is tough. Traveling's tough. It is tough. It's for me just to try to find the time off. But I finally said, the heck with it. I'm getting old. I need to go do some of these things that I haven't done before. And so that's why I jumped in the car with Mike. It just worked out. Mike's like, hey, I need a guy to drive with me. And I'm like, well, let me check my schedule. Oh, we're off. There's no hockey that week. It just worked out. And so it worked out. And I had a blast. I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh man, who am I going to talk to about games next? What am I going to play next? What am I going to do? It was so fun. Everyone just talking games. It's never happened before in my life, as being around people that enjoy the same things that you do. And excuse me, it didn't matter what game you were playing. Didn't matter what game you were playing. Because, you got, your strat people, your HAPA people, your play people, your this people. There was all kinds of games there. And everybody was playing whatever they wanted to. And no one judged anybody. And just, if you enjoy this game, play it. And show me. Maybe I'll enjoy it too. So that was the best thing about it. It wasn't, a one-sided affair for games. And VL, 76 and 77 were good Phillies years. Do I play PC version of Strat or just cards and dice? I have the PC version, but in this particular project, again, I'm doing the Strat basic cards and dice for this particular project. When I can play cards and dice, I prefer to play cards and dice. And what I've been trying to do is some projects where I don't have to, I've been using Digital Diamond a lot. I like Digital Diamond to keep my stats. So I'll set up the game, play it in Digital Diamond, and it'll keep my stats. But I've been trying to play some things that don't require me keeping stats. And if you saw the games I've been doing with the Al Wilson football field and the baseball field, those are perfect for something like this when I don't need to keep stats. I can set it up. I can have my score. I can have the guys on base, the football field. I chose me what down it is and where I am. Those are really, really great for kind of cards and dice play. I highly recommend you check out the Al Wilson football and baseball fields that he's got. They're fantastic. And I use them all the time. I didn't use them the last couple of times because I just was kind of playing and I didn't want to make a big production out of it, but I do like that. But so yeah, I'm doing my 76. So Phillies are up 1-0 over the White Sox, a chance to close out the series and move on. And the Phillies will play the Expos because the Expos knocked off the Reds. And I don't think the Expos will beat the Phillies. So they might have slipped by the Reds, but they won't get by the Phillies. So, and the Eagles just destroyed the Cowboys. Yeah. That's, yeah. And Jets. Yeah. Joe Morris, 21 rushing TDs to the Giants in 95. Never heard of Joe Morris? Joe Morris is pretty good. I remember the name. I couldn't tell you all about him, but I do remember the name. As the only East Coast Arizona Cardinals fan, yeah, I would agree with that statement. He's loving it, especially that they are looking great. Yeah, they get that quarterback. It's too bad. Is that Larry Fitzgerald still playing? It's too bad they didn't win anything with him. He was fantastic, but he's been around a long time, so he's probably slowing down. He's still playing, but yeah, and the Cardinals don't match. I agree. It's time to get rid of the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a St. Louis team. That's where it should be. That's what I think anyway. So the other thing, before I forget, and I'll get to some more chat in a second. I am looking into playing Apago. Somebody said that they've made some changes. I haven't touched that in a year or two. And I just went over to the Apago site. And last time I tried it, I was really confused at what was there with Apago. There's some things I really liked about Apago. The card, you see the card. I think you can roll your own dice and then plug it in on the computer. So you can play a game of Appa on the computer, which I really liked. And I was like, oh man, that would be kind of fun. And you can buy a season, or you can just for $20 a month. I think it's a subscription and the whole bit. And I was like, I do want to try that again. But the one thing about the Apago that I could never figure out is how to save the games. And if I wanted to play a season, do I have to play every single game, or can they simulate some of the games? And I was on there tonight, and I'm pretty sure that I saw an Apago that one of the things you can unlock or buy or rent or whatever it is the ability to have games simulated. So you can play all, some, or partial, whatever it was, and the other games will be so you could actually play a season. I would absolutely do that. So I think that they've made some changes with Apago. So I want to check that out. Now I think the seasons are like $20, and then you own it. And then if you wanted something else, $20. So, but I mean, I'm thinking I might pick it up for a month for $20, and then you get everything. And not that I need another subscription fee by any means, but it be by the time I buy the seasons and buy the whatever it is, the collections, and unlock the things, it'll be as much as a year. So I might as well just get everything. That way I can play any season I want. So I think I'm going to give Apago a try again. So you're going to see some Apago here on the channel once I can figure it out. I'll probably pick it up for a month and see what I can do with it. But I think now if these things were already in Apago years ago, then I just didn't figure it out, because I can never figure out what to do with Apago. So either they've worked on it and they've added all these things, or I just missed it and I didn't see it. But when I went in there today, I'm looking at all the things. I'm like, if I could just pick a season and play any game I want and then have the other stuff simmed and it works and it keeps standings, then great. I don't know if it's going to do that, though. That's the thing, is I don't know if I said, okay, sim all these games, is it, do I have to dump them in one by one into this collection thing? I just want to keep the standings, and take a look at stats. So TD, well, the Lions. Okay. Oh, they're coming back. Yep. So, okay. 2023 Houston. All righty. VL, thanks for coming by. And yes, Flow Sports is great. It does so many different things. Cleveland baseball fan, hey, thanks for coming by here tonight and saying hi. Dave, do the scoreboard numbers come with the baseball scoreboard? No. No, they don't. You get, let me just go to the website here. 3D6-gaming.com. So the numbers they don't come with them. No. So what you get is the numbers are $10. So the baseball field's 40. The football field is 50. The generic baseball is 50. The fast inning one is 40. Okay, so I got the generic baseball field for $50, and then the tiles would be 10, so it'd be $60. And you can use the same tiles for the football field. So for the generic football field, it's $50 too. So no, you do have to buy the numbers separate, but they're only $10. And then for the football, I got the extra timing thing that goes on the end of the field. So I did it up really nice there, and I worked with Al on that, by the way. So a couple things he sent to me, and so that's how I got them. But if you buy one set of numbers, they work for everything. So you don't need to buy two sets. You buy one set, you get 4 of every number, and they work with baseball and football, and it is fantastic. It is so good. I highly recommend them. And okay, so Fitzgerald retired a few years ago. All righty. Arnold, thanks for coming by, man. Good to see you. You know, well, I mean, it's $10. I mean, he could probably have a combination, to do them. He's got green and blue numbers, and so I mean, I suppose he could, but he's probably got his reasons why that it's separate, but it's $10, so just relax. I mean, so he could sell it to you for Well, here's the thing. So if he combines them, so if it's $50 for the field and $10 for the number, so it's $60, right? So you buy it for $60. Now you want the baseball. Well, do you want to pay an extra $10 for another set of numbers that you don't need? That's the thing. That's why. So you buy the fields separately and you buy the numbers and you get it. That's what it is. It works out really well. Ron McGrath comes by. Hi, Ron. Good to see you here. As we're chatting here. Boy, it's getting kind of late. I didn't realize today was Sunday. I just been going from rink to rink to rink. And I come home tonight and I had some dinner and the wife went to bed early. And I was down here talking to Ron. I went upstairs to, I don't know, get something. And I went in and talked to her. I says, is today Saturday or Sunday? She's like, it's Sunday. It's like, oh my gosh, so the weekend's gone? Yep. So like that, another weekend gone. AP. I was also thinking about playing App Go. I believe you can replay a season by having the computer sims a game you want, and then you manually enter play your favorite team. My only thing, I was thinking about that, AP, is when I was watching the video on the collection, so you play a game and then you add it to the collection, and which is weird as heck. It really is. But in the collection, you can check your standings and the stats and the whole bit. So I guess that's just kind of how it's done. But if the games are simulated, so let's just say, okay, I'm going to play my Red Sox game and then I want to sim the rest. So I got to go and manually add all those into the folder, or will they go in there automatically? I'm not sure how all that works. I think I'm going to have to just pick it up for a month. At some point, I'm going to grab it for a month. I'll pay the $20 and I'll really kick the tires with this thing, and I'll do some videos to show you guys and see if it's any good. I liked it because I like APA, and I like the fact that you could see the dice rolls and it would show you the results of the chart if you've ever played it. So I really liked it. I just didn't like the fact that it was so kind of clunky as far as trying to play a season or play a World Series. I don't know. I don't even know if you could set up a World Series with that. That's a thing I don't know. But if you could, I'd love to, say, hey, let me play the 80 World Series or the whatever World Series. I'd love to do that. I really would. I just don't know how to do it. So, and Ron says, how's the wife doing? She's doing okay. Doing okay. They did some blood work and it was not the best. So she's, talking with them like, what do I got to do? But she's been going to the gym more than I have. I haven't been to the gym in a couple of weeks. I just been working, but she's slipping out to the gym, and she says when she does the bike, she feels better. She still can't do a full workout, but she feels better. She's been walking the dog a little bit. She's been putzing around the house doing things. So I would say that, she's still not fully recovered, but she's doing better. Thank you for asking. Dave Little got a question here about Stone Cold Hockey. Is it possible to create your own schedule? In the PC game, I don't think so. But what you can do with Stone Cold, I'm pretty sure, is you can set up a playoff, and you can drop teams into the playoff. And then from there, you can set up the seeds and how many times they play, I think. So you can do a playoff. I don't know if you can do a regular season. I don't know. Let me see. I have it here. I haven't played that in quite some time. Oh, where is my Stone Cold Hockey? Where is my Stone Cold Hockey? There it is. Let me double check that, Dave. And I assume you're talking PC. So you got a new season. Oh, okay. You can create a new season. All right. So season must be between 2 and 32 teams. Hang on a sec, Dave. Let's try something here. Okay. So since we're using this new thing, let me share. Let me share my screen here, and I'll show you here. Show you the screen. Let's see if this works. All righty. So that's that. Hopefully you can see that. So that's the Stone Cold Hockey. So if I were to go to a new season, did that come up? Yes, it did. Okay, I'm just double checking. And so from here, you can just create the season. You enter the season name. You pick what teams you want to use. So if you want to come over here, I think you would just drop the teams in like that. And just create your divisions, your conferences. I think you can even name them all here. And as far as the schedule, I'm not sure how many games it would play. But this would be creating a season. You can even choose when it was, what year. Seasons must be between 2 and 32 teams. No conference can have more than 20 teams. Remember to set season options on first opening of the season. So it looks like you can create a season. So let's do this. So we're gonna go season name. We're gonna call this Dave Little. All righty, and we're gonna just put a couple of teams in here. We're gonna do 4 teams here, and we'll do 4 teams here. All right, and we will play. And we're just gonna put it back in October of 2010. We'll see what it does, right? Let's create the season. Okay, schedule generator. Enter the number of games in the division. To the left, you'll play, and the right will yeah. So you put in your games. A team cannot play more than 90 games. So let's just say we're going to play everybody 12 times. So it tells you how many games you're going to play. So that's Division 1, Conference 1, Interconference 12. So it looks like a 84 game season if we play everybody 12 times. Is that right? So what do we have? 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 7 times 24. No, that's not right. Enter the number of games in the division to the left. Enter the number of games the division to the left will play each team in the division at the top. Division on the left will play each team at the top. Oh, that's Conference 1, Conference 2. I see. All right, so we don't have Division. We don't have a Division 2. It's all Division 1. To ensure a balanced schedule, recommend that all numbers entered are even so teams play the same amount of games. Okay. Oh, for example, in a 5-team division, entering 6 means each team will play the other 6 times for a total of 24 games. So, yeah, so you can create your schedule here. So, interconference, we'll play each other 4 times, and we'll create the schedule. And now we have our schedule. And this is the Edmonton schedule. Oh, wait, let's go back here. Click on Edmonton. And do we have the Edmonton schedule? Teams, highlights. I don't know if we have an aggregate schedule or not. There's Cleveland. Oh, here's the Cleveland schedule. There we go. Yep, so there's our schedule. We didn't, not many games here. But yeah, so it looks like you can. So we're going to get out of here. And I got the Dave Little season here, so I can kind of do that anytime I want. So yeah. So yep. So yeah, so you can do that. Absolutely can. Andrew says, I've inspired him. Well, that's scary. Anytime I inspire somebody, it's kind of scary. Started working on a tournament in Pocket Pennant Run, going to do 21 Negro National League. That should be fun. And now the game's tied. Everyone chiming in. The game is tied. There we go. And yeah. You know what I was going to do, Dave? I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing with this Strat Baseball games. I'm going to set up a playoff with every team in the league, if that's possible, and do the same thing. Best out of 3, top team versus the absolute worst team, and play everybody. And the great thing is that on the computer, it'll go super, super fast because you can either sim the game or you can kind of hit the enter button and get through the game and kind of follow it along. But it should be kind of fun. So I'm going to do that with hockey. I've always said I was going to do that either with app or hockey bones or something, or shootout. I want to play a 1-16 playoff, but maybe like a 1-24 or something like that for hockey. I think that would be fun. And I'm having fun with the baseball. I really am. And I wanted to do it in a quicker play game, but the last night's baseball game was almost 2 hours because it was so intense, and we had the chat room going. It was nuts. If you were here last night, yeah, don't think a Strat baseball game takes 2 hours, because it doesn't. But when you're deciding and you're sweating it out and you're having a fun inning, then it does take a long time. So yeah, I will let you know how I make out with Apago. Maybe tomorrow. It depends how it goes. It depends how much. Like I said, I haven't had any time off, but I want to find some time to do something like that. So maybe I'll grab it for a month, play it around with it, and see what I got. But I want to keep this Strat baseball tournament going, because you're in. I get in a flow, so to speak. I get in a vein. I get in a mood, and I'm just like to play something. I like to play a ton of it, and so that's what I've been kind of doing with this Strat baseball. As you know, when I get on the Action PC, I finished that Action PC football project. That's all I wanted to play. Didn't want to play anything else, and then I'll get into another mood for another game, and I'll play that. So it's been kind of fun. But so yeah, so I'm kind of liking this thing here, this Streamlabs Talk Studio. Seems to be working okay. I look weird on my screen, but if I look okay out there, it's fine. The StreamYard always looked pretty good here for some reason. But we'll try this. I don't know if I could chat or not. Can I chat? Sometimes, yeah, I can. Yep. I can chat right from here, so that's kind of neat. Double click to update. What does that mean? I'm still learning some of the things here. I don't know what that means. I was looking at another one called, was it EVMux, EVMUX, and that was $30 or $40 a month too. And I was like, oh man, I think I'll just stick with this. This works for the chats. I'm gonna hopefully, they have a Black Friday sale, and I'll grab it for a year, save some money. They had a Halloween sale. It was like $10 a month or something like that. I should have grabbed it because it was pretty cheap for the year. I should have grabbed that Halloween sale, but I can only imagine they'll have a Black Friday sale, and I'll grab that, and we'll do that. It's kind of similar to StreamYard, but it seems to work. And if okay, so stream looks great. Okay, hopefully that'll work out. Holy cow, we have an attendee. Hang on a sec. All right, there we go. So Arnold's coming to Digital to DiceCon. He lives in New Haven. Oh, you're right around the corner. You're even closer than I am. So yeah, you're a lot closer than I am. I'm a couple hours away, and I got to get down there. I think I'm going down there in either December or January, and I want to set up and kind of run things through the. I want to run the gamut of some things I want to do down there as far as setting up the stream. I'll probably get Ron on the phone and check out the TV and just find a weekend they got nothing going on, so I can go in the room for an hour and play around and see if it's going to do all the things I wanted it to do. So if I have any issues, I can try to solve them there instead of getting there in May and be like, okay, now what do I need? So that's that. It's the clearest it's ever been. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad that it's looking okay. And again, I get the back. I haven't put in the background yet, but there's a couple I could put in here, so I could put that in the background if I wanted to. And there's the red one that I got, but I did have the baseball one. And I can go full screen, I can go like this, and I can go like that. So those are the three that I have for this here. I have my logo up in the top that I could put on and off. I can even move the logo around, which I don't think I could do that with StreamYard. But I can upload a new background. I can change the color of the font here. So I can make that red, blue. So I'm still getting used to some of the things here. I can change the font too. I don't know if I like that font. Oh, they got a ton of fonts. So let's see how the chat looks with the new font there. Oh, it looks a little bit different. Yeah. It looks all right. But anyway, well, I think I'm going to jump out here. Let's see if I can put on the TV, catch some football highlights. But I did want to come on here and talk about that. Oh, let me show you the Al Wilson stuff here before I go, since I got to share the screen here. So we're going to share this right here. All right, so this is what I use. This is the stuff here. This stuff is great. Okay, and I think I can move this around a little bit. Can I? Yeah, so I can do it like that, I guess. Yeah, all right, we'll try that. And so so yeah, so this is you get the green tiles and the blue tiles. I have the green, and you got some different scoreboard. He has the fast drive one. He has the fast inning. Those are his games. The History Maker Baseball. It does come with these here. I guess you can buy these at some point and get the red. You know what? I should get these here. Someone said that when you're playing with these here, you should have like the red for fast and the blue for the slow runners when you're playing APA. That would be pretty good. So he's got one for payoff pitch here. He's got one for season ticket. And here's the one that I have. It's just a generic baseball one. And it does come with the three guys and a couple of pegs here. And you get visitor and home. I created some here that you saw on the channel probably. I just cut some paper to size and fit it in here. He's got the soccer blast. He's got the hockey blast. Second season, cold snap, generic football one. He's even got a Canadian one. I have the Canadian one too. And then they have the add-ons here, and I do recommend these. These actually work pretty well. So you get the clock, and you have the game timing by plays if you want. So all that's here, and I do recommend it. It's really some good stuff. And Al took a lot of time to figure out how to do this, and I love it. I love it. I do. I love using his stuff. It just works so well on the stream. Just the numbers are big, and the football is great because you can see where you're out in the field. And I bought this this mat here that I'll only add my extra camera here. Yeah, so I'll add the extra camera and I'll show you here. So as you guys know, I bought this mat, and the idea was I was going to play the football games here on this mat. And then he turns out that he puts out that football field, and it just does such a better job than this. I really like using Al's stuff rather than using this football field here. And so anything that I'm not going to use the Pro Football Helper one, which will keep the stats. If that's something that I'm not going to use, then I'm going to use Al's football field. That's what I'm going to do. But I actually bought this, and I don't really need it anymore. So we're going to take that off. We'll get rid of that, and that's that. So I'm going to wrap things up here. But thanks for coming by, everyone. Yeah, we had a fun baseball game last night. I figured I'd come on and chat. So yeah, so a couple things to look for. I'll be continuing my Strat Baseball project here. That's going to be kind of fun. Look for me to jump on to APA Go and check that out there as well. Who knows? Maybe that goes well. I won't buy another APA season because I was going to get an APA Baseball season 2, either 77. How ironic if I would get 77 baseball, 77 football. But I think I'm going to get 85 football. When I order from APA, I like to get 2 seasons because of the shipping. It's always like a $15 minimum for shipping. if you get 2 seasons, you save some money on shipping if you buy a second season. So that's why I always like to get 2 if I go to Apple. So I was thinking about either 74 or 77 baseball. But if I get Apple Go, then maybe I can just kind of play it on the computer and have some fun with that. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. See if I can get it to work. But anyway, I'm Dave from Studio B. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. And we'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.